On its own product page, under its icon ratchet, Harbor Freight prints a comparison to Snap-on that most stores would pay to bury. Compare our price of $28.79, it reads, to Snap-on at $164. Harbor Freight wrote that line itself. It named the tool truck, put the two prices side by side, and dared you to go check them. Think about what that takes. The cheap store, the one every tradesman jokes about, is pointing straight at the most trusted name on the tool truck and asking for the comparison instead of running from it. The ratchet in that listing turns the same bolt the same way a Snap-on does, and it sells for under $30. That is not a typo. It is a dare, printed in black and white. So before you write that off as cheap store noise, go stand in your own garage. Picture the tool truck that rolls up to the bay on a Thursday, the chrome, the foam drawers, and the rolling cabinet you are still paying on. Now picture the guy one bay over doing the identical brake job with a red and black ratchet he grabbed for under $30. One of you is right about what a tool is worth, and this video is about which one. Here is the axis, and it is the only one that does not lie to you in a tool aisle, not the sticker. Cost per year. What a tool costs divided by the years it serves before it quits or gets thrown out. Run every tool in that store through that number and the whole place rearranges itself, because Harbor Freight does not sell one grade of tool. It sells five under five different names, stacked in a ladder the average shopper never notices. Warrior, Pittsburgh, Bauer, Hercules, Icon. 5 house brands, 5 different promises, and each promise is written down in the one place nobody reads, the warranty term. So here's the question worth carrying all the way down. Out of those 5, which tier costs you the least to own across a working life? And the bigger one, is one of them, without anybody at the register admitting it, tool truck quality at a quarter of the tool truck price? The answer is not the tier you would bet on, and it is the last one I am going to name. The prices here come off the store's own websites, Harbor Freight's and Snap-on's, the warranty terms from Harbor Freight's published policy, and the trade shops that track this, Pro Tool Reviews and Tool Guide, and every cost per year runs on a 20-year working career. Start with the split that runs the length of the ladder. 2 of these 5 are hand tools. Ratchets, sockets, wrenches, the things with no motor to burn out. Those 2, Pittsburgh and Icon, carry a lifetime warranty. The other 3 are power tools, and those live and die on a much shorter clock. Warrior and Bauer get 90 days. Hercules gets more, and that number is the whole reason to own it. A lifetime warranty drives the cost per year toward nothing, because you buy once and they replace it free forever. 90 days is the company admitting it does not know whether the thing sees a second summer. Worst deal to best. Number 5, and it is the trap. The front of the store is built to spring. Warrior. That rack of cheap power tools by the door, the drills, the multi-tools, the sanders in black and red plastic, priced to be an impulse grab. Warrior is not aimed at DeWalt or Milwaukee. It is aimed at the $20 bill in your pocket and the job you need done Saturday. Here's the receipt Harbor Freight prints and prays you skip. Warrior carries Harbor Freight's standard 90-day term. That is the maker stamping a number on its own confidence, and the number is 1 season. And somehow the cost per year gets worse from there. If the motor quits the winter after you carry it home, you did not spread the price over 10 years. You spread it over 1. And past 90 days, the replacement is not on Harbor Freight. It is full retail out of your own pocket. This is where the cheap tool joke stops being funny. The very thing that makes Warrior cheap to grab is what makes it expensive to keep. Fine for a job you do once and never again. Never for anything you get paid to finish. Number 4 is the one you have heard is dying. Bauer. And the version you have heard is not the full picture. Bauer is Harbor Freight's 20-volt cordless line. The homeowner's platform, the drills and drivers and circular saws a weekend warrior reaches for. There is a rumor that Harbor Freight is winding it down. It is not. A reviewer who dug into that rumor over at the channel Den of Tools said it straight. Bauer is the store's cordless bread and butter, more than 65 products deep, and it is growing into 2026, not shrinking. So what is it? The honest homeowner rung up against Ryobi and the low end of DeWalt, priced for a man doing his own deck, not a man on a crew, and the receipt reads 90 days, same as Warrior, across everything it sells. Harbor Freight is not promising this line a career, so the cost per year lands in the middle. Decent for a few weekends a year, poor if you ask it to earn a living. And on a cordless platform, that 90-day clock has real teeth because a 20-volt battery that quits after the window is a full price replacement on you, not on the store. Buy Bauer for the garage and the honey-do list, not the job site. Quick one before we climb higher, and I want this from you. Which Harbor Freight tier is in your shop right now, and how long has it lasted? Your Bauer drill, your Pittsburgh ratchet, the year you bought it, and whether it still turns. Put the model and the years in the comments, because a model number and a decade of hard use is the only tool test that ever meant a thing, and I read every one. Up to this point, we have been standing in the disposable half of the store. Pittsburgh is where the ladder flips. Number 3 is the sleeper, the tier the internet mocks and a lot of mechanics keep in the top drawer anyway. Pittsburgh, Harbor Freight's budget hand tools. The ratchets, the sockets, the combination wrenches, the screwdrivers. People will tell you they are junk. What matters is the warranty card. Pittsburgh hand tools carry a lifetime warranty, the very same lifetime term Harbor Freight puts on its top professional tier. Slash Gear points out that the Pittsburgh lineup covers many of the same hand tools as the Icon range, the ratchets, the wrenches, the sockets, at a much lower price point. So run the cost per year on it. You buy a Pittsburgh wrench one time for a few dollars. It is a hand tool, so nothing burns out. And the day it ever cracks or rounds off, you carry it back to the counter, and they hand you a new one at $0 for the rest of your life. A tool you buy once and never pay to replace does not have a low cost per year. It has none. Just the one purchase and then $0 a year for decades. The feel is mid-grade, sure, but as the everyman's forever hand tool, the thing you abuse and replace for free, Pittsburgh is the quiet best value in the building, right up until the tier above it. That is the reason we built the Buy It for Life brand ledger, and this is the honest place to hand it over, not buried at the end. It is a $29 breakdown of the major tool brands, category by category, ranked the same way this video ranks them, by what a tool costs you per year of real service, with the warranty term and the country of origin printed next to every last one. All 5 Harbor Freight tiers are in it, the fine print laid flat, so you never stand in that aisle again squinting at a hang tag, trying to work out whether the thing in your hand is a lifetime tool or a 90-day gamble. The link is in the description. Now pull back before we finish the climb. Everything below this rung was about which tool is cheapest to grab off the peg. The top 2 are about which tool is cheapest to keep for 20 years. Different questions, and here they line up at last. Number 2 is the one power tool at Harbor Freight worth carrying to the register. Hercules. This is the store aiming straight at the big dogs. The cordless line built to sit next to DeWalt, Milwaukee, Makita, and Bosch on a working crew. And here's where the warranty term stops being a red flag and turns into a green light. The Hercules brushless tools, the motors with no brushes to wear down, carry a 5-year warranty on the tool and 3 years on the battery on units bought after 2022. Set that beside Warrior and Bauer at 90 days and you can read Harbor Freight's own mind. This one we expect to live. Those ones we do not. There is a catch, and it is the honest kind. The brushed Hercules tools, the cheaper motors, fall right back to 90 days, so the warranty itself tells you which Hercules to carry out. The brushless one. Buy that, and the cost per year works on a power tool at last because 5 years of coverage spreads the price across a real run of service instead of the 90-day cliff. Inside those 5 years, a brushless tool that dies costs you $0 to replace, where Warrior and Bauer would already be charging full retail. Hercules brushless is the best power tool value in the store, which leaves one tier, the one I have been holding back. There was a tell on that top tier's price tag that should have stopped every serious mechanic cold. Almost nobody reads it. Number 1 is Icon, and it is the reason a video about a discount store is worth making at all. Icon is Harbor Freight's professional hand tool line, and the store built it to do one thing: walk up to Snap-on in the parking lot and take the account. The motto Harbor Freight prints on the line tells you the ambition: tool truck quality, unbeatable prices, big talk from a budget brand, and for once it holds up. Pay attention to what is inside the tool because it explains the entire price gap. The bench testers at the torque test channel took an Icon ratchet apart next to a Snap-on. What they found is that Icon copied Snap-on's 80-tooth mechanism, the one the tool truck calls Dual 80, close enough that Snap-on's own repair parts can be fitted into the Icon body. The same 80-tooth anvil, the same seal. Not a part-for-part identical build, and the fit takes some forcing, but the professional's own parts go in. Now let me end the rumor that rides with that. Icon does not come out of Snap-on's factory. It is forged in Taiwan, and Snap-on's ratchets are still built in the USA. What Icon did was build to Snap-on's pattern, not share the building. And if the teardown were the only thing Icon had going for it, that would already be enough. But then they broke them. On the same channel's torque to failure test, the Icon ratchet held all the way to 310 foot-pounds before it let go. The Snap-on it was copied from gave up at 280. The clone outlasted the original. Now, before you decide this is a story about a cheap tool beating an expensive one at everything, here's where I keep myself honest. It does not. Project Farm ran the precision test on the torque wrenches, and Snap-on won it, tightest and truest of the group. The Icon came in a breath behind, tied with DeWalt, second all the same. And that Icon wrench was $370 against a $790 Snap-on. So no, Icon does not beat Snap-on at everything. It wins on toughness and comes within a rounding error on precision. That torque wrench runs a bit under half the Snap-on price. The ratchets and the breaker bars drop further, to a quarter or a third of what Snap-on charges. Take the breaker bar. An Icon runs about $40 against a Snap-on near $124, which brings us to the number this whole video has been walking toward. Take the ratchet. The Icon flex head runs about $48 at its everyday price, less on a sale. That $28.79 from the cold open. The Snap-on it clones runs $164. The very model Harbor Freight named at the top of this video. Both carry a lifetime warranty, so neither one ever charges you for a replacement. Spread each across a 20-year career. The Icon lands at about $2 a year. The Snap-on lands at about $8 a year. Same job, same lifetime coverage, the same 80-tooth ratchet in your hand. The entire gap, more than 3 times the cost per year, is the badge on the handle and the truck it rode in on. That is the kind of gap that makes an accountant wince. Here is the objection I can already hear, because it is the one every tradesman is raised on. You get what you pay for. Cheap tools are a false economy, and 9 times out of 10, standing in that store, you are dead right. But a rule of thumb is not a law, and Icon is the exception. The rule was hiding. It is a professional tool sold without the professional markup because Harbor Freight does not run a truck or finance your cabinet at interest. You are not buying a worse tool, you are skipping the middle. So here is the verdict, tier by tier, the way it fits on the back of a receipt. If you swing tools for a living and you want hand tools that outlast you, buy Icon and read the card that says Lifetime. Want the everyman's forever hand tool for a few dollars? Pittsburgh does the same job a rung down. Need cordless power on a crew? Buy Hercules, and only the brushless. Bauer is honest about being a homeowner's tool, so treat it like one. And Warrior. Warrior is for the one job you will never do twice. But the move that protects your wallet is smaller than any brand name, and you can run it in the aisle before you ever pay. Turn the package over and read the warranty term. Lifetime means Harbor Freight expects that tool to outlive you. 90 days means it does not. The company already sorted its store into keepers and throwaways and printed the answer right on the tag. You only have to read the one line nobody reads. And that test does not stop at Harbor Freight. It works on every wall of every tool store you walk into. Buy once, cry once, and read the warranty before you read the price. Next time I am walking that same test down another aisle and naming the national brands that have become the very thing they warn you about.